Hey everyone! We're here for another installment of Heaving Bosom's Ask a Badass, the episode where we highlight listeners who want to talk about their love of romance and anything else they're passionate about. Make sure to tune in on Monday, January 27th for the regular episode, because Aaron and I are covering part 1 of From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. HBs, we liked it! Also, I got it edited early, so the episode is available for patrons right now. Visit patreon.com/Heaving Bosom's podcast if you can't wait. And now we have Jess E. She's a scrapbooker extraordinaire who wants to buck the notion that documenting your life is only for people with kids. HBs, we live worthwhile lives on our own. Preach it, Jess! Here we go.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Natalie.
So you're Jessica on the internet, but Jess is kind of what you go by most of the time, right?
I think I did just shorten it on Facebook officially the other day.
Really?
It took me long
I
enough.
wasn't paying attention. I asked Kimberly L. if she wanted me to call her Kimberly or Kim, and she said, you could call me Kim. And then I refused and called her Kimberly through the whole interview. So I'm going... But I usually call you Jess, and it's Jess right on my computer screen. So yeah. I will probably remember, maybe.
Probably, hopefully. It's okay. I answer to either.
And we said in other episodes, I don't promise any sort of professionalism or consistency or content that is valuable in any way. But hi.
Hi.
You, Jess, for those of you that are not familiar with Jess, Jess E has been a cult member for quite a while. Like, not OG, but like you were like this new wave of cult members that maybe like a year ago?
Yeah, about a year ago, I found the group and everything, and that's when I joined.
Mm-hmm.
The official.
And had you just recently found Heaving Bosoms, or?
Yeah. So it was, I didn't listen to podcasts for a very long time. I was very slow to jump on that bandwagon. I was all like, no, I'm listening to audiobooks. My time is full.
I am busy, okay?
I am busy doing other things. And then I'm not even sure how I got started listening to podcasts, but then I just couldn't stop. And I found Smart Bitches Trashy Books first. And then I was like, wait, I bet there's more. So then I just typed in book podcast or something. And I found this one. And I was like, okay. This is it. This is where it's at.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Exactly.
Were you specifically looking for romance podcasts, or are you an equal opportunist as far as books go?
I like to mix it up a lot. Yeah. So I like to read a lot of different things. Romance is definitely my number one. And I definitely like to have like some sort of romance involved, even if there's not an HEA. But I wasn't specifically looking for romance. It just so happened that that's what I found, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So
yeah. What else do you read besides romance?
So I read paranormal. I read like steampunk. I'll read some autobiographies. It really just depends on the person. I could see that. Yeah, I like a lot of the old like Hollywood starlet, like Judy Garland and Audrey Hepburn and stuff. They're just so fascinating to me, and to just learn, like, it's just bananas to read more and like learn more about what's behind that glitzy curtain. It's just astounding to me.
I think it probably very much still is that way. You know what I mean? Like, astounding what actors, actresses, people have to like do in their daily lives to do their job. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us are like, but they have it so easy. And I think probably some things are easy, but there's also like crazy stuff that goes on that I think we can only just like imagine.
Oh gosh, absolutely. Yes. Like the whole invasion of privacy. Like for the longest time, I'm like, yeah, but that's what you signed on for. Yeah. I mean, hello, you knew this was going to happen. Yeah. But I guess like the more you hear these like stories about the lengths that people go to, it's like, it's bananas. It's just bonkers.
Yeah, I live in a very rural part of the country, and no one cares what I'm doing on a regular basis. So I can't imagine. Like, I'm pretty sure my neighbors are still like, I don't even really care about her. You know what I mean? And like, as long as her garbage cans are put in her garage, I don't really care what she's doing.
I feel that way, but also at the same time, when I was growing up, this is not on the same level by any means,
Mm-hmm.
but when I grew up, my dad is a minister. And so everybody knows who the minister's kids are.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would go home and my dad would be like, so what about blah, 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 blah. And I'd be like, how do you even, I just got home. And it'd be like these little old ladies would just like get their little phone tree going so that they could tattle on me to my dad. Like,
yeah.
It was ridiculous.
You know, when you're a prominent person in a community, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's got their eyeballs on you. At my work job, there's like a group of senior citizens that participates in this activity, and they all have a lot of opinions, and they have their own phone tree. And so sometimes like something will happen, and then like a garbled version of it shows up in our ear holes like 2 days later. Like, did you hear what you guys did? And I'm like, but I'm pretty sure that's not what we did. This is what we actually did. That's just what you think we did. It's one of those memes. This is what they think I do. This is what I actually do.
Exactly.
This is like what I wish I did. And it's just me sitting at home on my couch.
Mug of tea, big old blanket.
By the way, I'm drinking tea right now. I haven't had this one in a while. It's a brand of snarky tea called Get Your Shit Together. And it's basically like supposed to be like if you're hungover, like drink this tea to get your shit together. I'm currently not hungover, but it was the least amount of caffeine out of all the ones that I had available to me. But it 100% tastes like soap right now.
Oh no, and, that's horrible.
So it had been a while. Anyway, Are you a tea drinker?
Sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a coffee drinker than I am a tea drinker.
I very much am a coffee drinker. I don't know what that sound just was. Did you hear it?
It sounded like a door opening.
Anyway,
just ghosts.
I thought it was Archie the dog because he is 100% guilty of all mischief in my house, but he also was very surprised by this noise. Hey, we're on a podcast right now.
Hey, Archie. I am like a fan of pretty much most beverages. I like to have at least 2 or more beverages around me at all times.
That's a great choice.
Yeah.
The variety. Usually I'm 100% coffee all the time, but I needed a hot beverage and I wasn't going to make myself coffee because I'm lazy, and tea was a good option. But if I drink too much caffeine, then, 3 a.m. I'll be up with Holly reading Red, White, and Royal Blue or whatever. Yeah. It's kind of an issue. That's like a thing that I've noticed as I started getting older. I can't continue to keep drinking caffeine it's legit. It's just how you know that your time has come,
Yeah, not one of my favorite things ever.
The when I grow up phase in your life. Sorry, now you have to figure out what you want to do with your life. That's the cue.
Once you can't drink caffeine like a fiend anymore.
Then your body's like, okay, though.
Now you're a grown up. Well, shit.
What are you currently reading right now?
I am currently I'm listening to the audiobook of Between the Pipes, I think is what it's called. I could be wrong about that.
Is that a sexual innuendo?
It is and it isn't.
Okay.
But it's I mean, I think it is. It's also about these hockey players. Like, so they're the main.
The pipes is the goal.
Oh, just joking. It's called Pipe Dreams.
Oh.
I mean,
Jess.
Close enough, right?
Perfect.
Oh shoot. And then and then I have like 3 other books that I'm in the middle of right now. Generally I'm like a one book.
Oh, I can't do more than one, yeah.
I listen to one on the way to work and stuff. So it's like generally not too many.
Yeah.
But I
do you have to have them be different things? I guess because you're listening, maybe it's different. It like would feel different in your brain. You wouldn't get stuff confused, maybe.
If I can, I do the Audible romance package, whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
So I get those for free, and then I try and Kindle Unlimited a lot of things. And sometimes those things cross over. And so then
nice.
So then I'll just do that so that I can just keep whatever.
It's like Whisper Sync or whatever,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So I can just keep that going.
It's not that I don't like audiobooks, but I have to be sitting completely still doing nothing else or driving. But my commute is very short now. And so if I'm going to be sitting still doing nothing, listening to an audiobook, I could just be reading, you know?
Yes.
So I only pay for one medium right now. But I really love people telling me stories. So I would love, I think, audiobooks a lot. Like I love the Harry Potter audiobooks with Jim Dale. And I would love to listen to other things that are good, you know, like with good narrators. But I haven't found the way. I need it. I need to figure it out.
I will say two things. One, I can't be sitting still. So I have, I don't know why that is, but otherwise I'm just like, I'm not doing enough. I have to be doing 3 things at once. So
that's a whole mood right there.
Yeah. So I'll listen to it and then I'll do the dishes, or I'll even if I'm playing solitaire or something, my hands have to be doing something. Yeah. So if I have to craft, I don't have to craft, but if I am doing something crafty, I'll listen to an audiobook or something like that. Yeah. Because otherwise, if I'm just sitting there, I just go nuts. Because I'm like, I have to be doing it, which is weird because I can just sit and watch Netflix for 7 years. That's fine.
It must be your brain working in different ways.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really weird. But, But yeah. And then my second thing is, I do think it is really cool to have somebody tell you the story, like the narrator, like you were saying. Mm-hmm. I have a little issue though, and it's just come up most recently in the book that I've been listening to. It's 2 narrators, which I think is really interesting because there's a man and a woman. And so they can tell when one chapter is from the woman's point of view, the woman does the whole thing and vice versa. But the man, I don't know if anybody else thinks the same way, but when a man does the woman's voice, when he puts on the female voice, 98% of the time he makes her sound so much more whiny than I think that she is. Oh, and it is so frustrating to me. I'm just like
this is him imagining what she's saying.
Yes.
Or
he's some frat dude making fun of how his girlfriend's yelling at him or whatever. And I'm like, bro, that would be you're a professional. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
Get the tea.
You should know how to do a women's voice. Okay.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, that was in the book Between Two Pipes.
Between so many pipes.
Okay. Perfect. Yes. Just checking. Were you always a big reader, forever in your life?
Yes. So we have been huge readers. I grew up with 2 sisters, and we've been readers ever since, as soon as we could read. Our parents put books in our hands, and we were just little church mice in the corner. Just
literal church mice.
Literal church mice.
Your dad was a minister. Yeah, absolutely. So we were readers too, my sister and I. I don't think I was nearly as voracious of a reader as I am now, because once TV was a thing for me, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, that makes sense.
For sure. You know what I mean? But I had a lot of Nancy Drew feelings my whole childhood. And then once I got to maybe 4th grade, I started reading James Herriot, and he is an animal. He was a country vet in England back in the day, World War II era. And he would would describe the vet treatments, and then he would also describe his life and his love life. There was a romance involved in it, and it was the whole gamut, and it was so fun. And he had All Creatures Great and Small, which was turned into a BBC show, and a whole series of books. And so then once I found those, I was like, but animals though, and then that was forever.
Were you a horse girl?
I was not. We talked about horse girls in another one, and I wasn't I liked horses, and I did ride, take horseback riding lessons, but I wasn't I was probably a horse girl. Let's be real. I remember reading, there was a whole series, they were Babysitter's Club, but for at
the Saddle Club.
Yes. Yes. There it is.
I also read those.
So yeah, it was Babysitter's Club, Nancy Drew, The Saddle Club, Mindy of Chincoteague. I was a horse girl. Did you ever read Mindy of Chincoteague?
No, I've never heard of that.
Misty of Chincoteague? It's wild ponies on Chincoteague Island.
Huh.
And, Jess, I'll send you a link.
Okay, please do.
They try to trap the wild horses.
Oh, no. But do they get away?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
That would ruin it.
I did watch Black Beauty a lot.
I never saw that one, but I did watch Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken.
Yes, with the crazy jump.
Yes.
I look back on that now and I'm like, nope, no, my heart can't take it. I don't know what I was thinking as a child.
I would never be able to make a horse do that.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Okay, horse, just run as fast as you can and launch yourself off of this platform into water.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't ever do that. Not once, not never.
No.
I wouldn't jump off by myself.
Yeah, I'm one of those kids that's up on the high dive and is like, I'm going to dive though. And then you get up there and you're like, I'll do a pencil dive and then hold your nose and then you lose your bathing suit bottoms. That's me. That's me going off the high dive. Yeah. And so there would be no Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken for me.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I read a lot of Laura Ingalls Wilder growing up.
Oh, mm-hmm.
So I was one of those kids.
And I know that I have all of my original books.
Oh, that's awesome.
From when I read them. And I'm kind of upset that I didn't know it sooner, but there is a lot of problematic Native American, indigenous characters in those books. And I don't know if I can go back and reread now, Jess.
That's not even something that I thought about until just now. Because I haven't reread them for a really long time either.
I started following a couple of Native Instagram pages and Facebook pages in the last few years because it's just something that in my very rural Illinois area, they don't talk about. We're still using Native American images during Thanksgiving in our schools here, which is interesting. Like feathered headdresses type of interesting.
Oh,
and so I started following some more Native friendly Facebook pages and Instagram pages just to get better dialogue from myself and for my kids and figure out ways I could support things. Illuminative was one of them.
Oh, okay.
Lil Native Boy is another one on Instagram that's really good. And they both pages offer really good resources but that's where I found out about the very problematic characters and representations in Laura Ingalls, and I was just so heartbroken. She's come out later to be like, and so what?
Oh,
like
that's
she had
the
come
worst.
Out, you know what I mean? Not like now, like Laura Ingalls Wilder, like not alive, obviously, but back in the day, she had come out. She didn't have an Instagram page. I did not follow her ever.
Oh, I was following her, but I thought it was her.
Sorry. Anyway, I didn't mean to get like preachy or whatever, but I also had that's where I learned about maple syrup. And that's actually where I ended up teaching pioneer classes when I was right out of college. And that's where a lot of my pioneer knowledge came from, was reading Laura Ingalls books.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Well, and I grew up in like Wyoming and Idaho and Montana and stuff. So I was just like, these are my people.
And Dakota territories.
Yeah, exactly.
General Dakota territories, or whatever it was referred to in Ingalls Wilder times.
My grandparents on my dad's side actually did for a really long time the reenactment.
Oh, cool.
So they'd my grandma would make the outfits with the big like hoop skirt and stuff, and my grandfather had like the big beard with the big mutton chop sideburns.
Yes.
And he would my dad loves to tell stories about it, but he'd have like kids, he'd be in the general store behind the counter at the general store, and kids would come in and he was like so honored. He's like, well, what'd your ma send you for? And the kids would be like, what? And he'd be like, well, I don't got all day, son. So
that's amazing.
So when we went to visit them, we got to put on the big hoops and the dresses and stuff, and we'd go play Laura Ingalls Wilder.
I have forever been afraid of leeches after reading Laura Ingalls Wilder books. Yes, but I've also always wanted to eat a roasted pig's tail which I know is that's a niche market. Probably not a lot of kids are reading those books going, but what does a pigtail taste like? But
yeah,
I am that child.
I was more interested in the like maple syrup poured on the snow, but I like where your head's at.
If there's a weird meat, I'm gonna eat it. Like that's just I'm gonna put it on my business card. So.
Natalie bringing the diversity.
How did you transition from that to romance?
Oh, so my mother would read romance books, and when I don't even know how old I was, but I was always that kid that was reading above my grade level. So I was always like, I want bigger books. I need bigger books. This just is not enough for me anymore.
Yeah. I like big books and I cannot lie.
Exactly. That was me. I would pick up my mom's Nora Roberts books, and she just has such amazing writing. Even to this day, her characters are just amazing to me.
Do you remember which first Nora Roberts?
I don't remember. I'm trying to think right now.
It's okay if you don't, but you're like, I don't know how many people I've interviewed, like 12 and 7 something. And majority of them started with a Nora
I think
Roberts.
She's like our patron lady of introduction to romance.
I think part of it too is she writes so much.
She is, yeah.
You know what
She's
I mean?
prolific.
That it's everywhere. Oh, you don't like romance, but you like suspense? Okay, there's a Nora Roberts for that. It's JD Robb. You know, like
exactly. She's amazing. I will say, I love her. I would devour any of her books. To this day, I'm still like, whatever she puts out, I'm gonna read it. But my very first like super naughty book was I don't know what the title is, but I like stole it from my friend's older sister because I had a sleepover at her house, and it had like a Highlander on the front with a kilt, no shirt, and I was like, hold up, what is this? Exactly. And so I like opened it up to like the middle, and there was like a very graphic sex scene, and I was like, I'm going to need to take this home with me.
Back to the beginning. This one's going home.
I'm pretty sure I did not tell my friend. I'm pretty sure I 100% just tucked it in my bag and I stole it.
Yeah. To this day, she's been like, that book went missing dramatically.
Out of nowhere. Oh, gosh. And then my mom would be like, so I did not tell her about those, but she knew I would read her Nora Roberts books. And she was very worried about like what people would think about her preacher's kids, her daughters reading these like sexy time books. And then she would just be like, you know what? You need to know about what's going on in the world, and you are mature enough to know what's real and what's not real, and blah, 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 blah. And then after all this whole like uplifting thing about us being like able to make our own choices, she'd be like, but you're skipping those sex scenes, aren't you? I'd be like, yeah, Mom, of course I am.
I like that she was like, here's an escape hatch for you. You should take it.
I was like, of course I don't go back to those.
Why, Mom? Why would I skip them? Who is making me skip them? You're not knowing what page I'm on. Of course I'm not skipping them. Come on. She just didn't want to know.
She did not want to know. She was like, I'm going to put these rose-colored glasses on and let's just keep it that way. I said, you got it, Mom. Just keep this Nora Roberts coming.
Do you have anything besides romance that you're currently really passionate about?
I do a lot of like random things. So I like also do a lot of scrapbooking, which I'm like super stoked about. I love it so much. And I know that, I don't know how many people in the pod or in the cult are scrapbookers, but it's not quite the same as it was when our moms used to scrapbook. It's very different. There's like a lot more modern. It's so much more updated now. It's so much fun. It really is.
Yeah. Do you do it? Because I know some people do it digitally. And are you like paper with pictures?
I am. It's all physical scrapbooking. I don't do very much digitally as far as like keeping it digital. I'll like use digital stamps and stuff, but I print it all out and it gets put on little cards and stuff. So I do what's called Project Life. And I don't know if you've ever heard about it, but it's like like a scrapbook system where you put your photographs and like different cards and stuff in pockets, basically. So like the pages on the inside are like these pockets that have different size pockets in them, like usually like 3x5 or 3x4 and 4x6 pockets, like a different combination of these. Okay. So you can have, if you wanted to, you could have a full page of whatever, but otherwise you can just put these little things in little pockets, and you can make, they call them shaker pockets, and you can like fuse the pocket closed, but inside it'll have like little glitter and sequins and stuff.
Like a snow globe.
Yes.
Yes.
And you can like, there's just so many ways that you can make it your own. And I love, different papers and stickers and all of this stuff. It's so much fun. Washi tapes and different cards and stuff.
And when you're scrapbooking, what is your goal? Like, are you giving things as gifts to people? Are you using them for kind of memory keeping for yourself, or what is your goal with? So the majority of
mine is just memory keeping for myself, which is, it's definitely another whole nother thing as a single woman who doesn't have children. It's definitely like we deserve to be able to scrapbook our lives too, sort of thing.
Hell yeah.
Because there's still people who are just like, well, if you don't have kids, then what are you doing? You know? And I'm like,
oh, you still have memories. Hello.
Exactly. So
you take trips, you do things, you have a family and friends that you want to remember their moments with. Kids are not the only thing to remember in the world. Most of the things that happen with my children, I want to forget. So
you're like, please let me forget.
Yeah. No, sorry, you can't. They're burned in your memory, and you're going to think about it at 3 a.m. You're going to be like, what kind of parent am I? Anyway,
the best
keep going.
But yeah, so that's kind of a whole nother thing where it's like, even in that community, there's like just people who are, they scrapbook for their kids. They're like, eventually someday. And I'm like, but are they going to want them? You don't know. Don't judge me. Your kids might hate them. That's mean. I'm sorry.
Any current lady loves that you would like to share with our avid fans?
Yeah, my adoring fans. Just joking.
No, they are.
I guess I would say that not currently right this second, but one of the things that I have been loving is to take these like super long drives.
Yeah.
Out in the woods, out in the country. I put like a really good audiobook on. I get like a really good coffee and maybe like a treat from Starbucks or something. And then I just take this long drive, and there's no time limit to it. There's no destination specifically in mind. And I gotta tell you, it's been amazing to me. It just like clears your mind, I guess.
Absolutely. Because you don't have to think about that next thing you're going to do. And you don't have to think about like your route or your next turn even. You just kind of
and there's like
just empty your
not
brain.
to sound too crazy, but there's no wrong turn. Like you can literally go anywhere.
That was very rude,
well,
but,
I was thinking of the word meta, and I was like, that's not correct. Or too like
I'm not sure if I've ever used the term meta out loud, so you could have said it and I wouldn't have known if it was wrong.
I would have known. Okay.
I'm sure other people would have known too.
They're coming for me. Coming for me on the call.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, there's go down a one-way street, not a one-way street.
I have done that. I recommend dangerous. To not to.
So there are wrong turns, is what you're saying.
But generally, there's not a lot of one-ways in the country. So.
True. Do you live in the country? Is it very like open?
So I live in northern Idaho, and I live right by Lake Coeur d'Alene, and it is beautiful here.
Jess, are you ready for a lightning round?
Oh gosh, I think so.
Okay. Are you sure? This is a no pressure situation.
Yes. Let's do this, baby.
Great. If you were gonna bing boom bong something, what would it be?
Probably scrapbooking. Just because
what would the sentence be that you'd be like, actually, bing boom bong.
This isn't your grandma's scrapbook.
It would be like someone's over here going, scrapbooking is only for children, people with children. And you would be like, excuse me, bing boom bong, please see my single lady shrine to memories.
Please refer to Exhibit A.
Yeah, and then every exhibit following.
Yeah.
What is your favorite carb?
Okay, this is a really hard question because I don't like to pick favorites.
So what you're saying is you're a melody.
I'm a melody. Yes. Every time somebody like asks her to pick a favorite and she makes that noise, that is me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no.
Do you
So, like,
have a go-to category? Complex carbs, simple carbs, fruits?
Yes. So generally I love all of the carbs. I love them all, but I generally will gravitate towards a bread carb or a potato carb. I'll eat French fries any time of the day, if we're being honest.
So just clarifying, you categorize French fries as a carb.
Yes.
Okay, great. I was just clarifying.
Are they not?
No, other people have maybe not considered them a carb and considered them their own separate food category.
Oh, okay. Well then.
But they are a carb.
Well, however it works out, however the cookie crumbles. I love all baked goods and I love French fries.
Great. I respect that answer.
I have really been trying to find new authors and especially authors of color. I just read Adriana Herrera.
Okay, yes.
She wrote American Dreamer, which was amazing.
Mangoes and Mistletoe is in my TBR right now, and I
want to read that one for sure. And then she has the second one after American Dreamer out, and I want to read that one.
I have not read any of her yet, and I've heard only good things.
She's good. She's really good. And then Kennedy Ryan, her writing is so beautiful. She's not new to the game, but I
feel like what is does she have a well-known, because the name is very familiar. I probably
she wrote like Long Shot and Hook Shot.
Oh, yes. Basketballs?
Yes,
okay.
Basketballs. Sports balls.
Between two pipes.
Between two pipes. That makes me think of Zach Galifianakis.
I know, that's actually one of the first references when next on between these pipes. Between two pipes.
Oh gosh.
Between the pipes. Whatever it's called. Pipe dream. Do you have a theme song that represents your life?
You know what? My jam has been Lizzo, obvi.
Yes.
Soulmate.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love to listen to Truth Hurts, and I love that intro. It's so good, that first part. But Soulmate,
it is.
Oh,
it's everything.
It is so good. She just speaks right to my heart. It's just oof.
Yeah. Yes, and it makes you feel good after you listen to it, and it's a bop, right?
It is. It's so good.
Did I use that in the correct way?
I think so.
Okay.
I really wanted to say it slaps, but I don't say that ever. I've heard it said recently, and I'm like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it does slap. You're right.
It slaps.
I'm the whitest person in the whole world right now.
Right after me.
Do you have a favorite trope?
I will pick a couple. I love an alpha hero. It is also problematic.
Yes.
And there's definitely a super fine line between being cocky and being arrogant.
Yeah.
And one is acceptable and one is not acceptable. So I love a good alpha. I love a good, like, take charge dude. But I also really love when this same alpha is just like, she's my equal, she's my partner, she's whatever. Like, I'm super into that. Yeah. I also love a grumpy hero, but he's not grumpy for the heroine.
Yeah. Because the grumpy one is soft for the quirky one is usually how I see it.
Yes. I love that. I also really love a small town. Because that's where I came from. And so just like, there's just something about it, man.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
If you could dispense one condiment from your belly button, what would it be?
I have been thinking about this question for a really long time. Because I thought to myself, like, one, where did this question come from? And two, I just need to know what other people are thinking in their minds. So I asked my brother and sister also what they would choose, or my brother-in-law. And my brother-in-law chose salsa. And I was like, that's the worst answer that I have ever heard. It's so chunky.
It's got particles.
Ugh, yes. And then I was thinking about it this morning. And I was like, I just want to say chutney. Because I like the word chutney. And it is so fun to say. But it is also... Isn't that a little chunky too? Like it's probably. It's not smooth.
It's not smooth. No, it's not like a ketchup.
And then in the cult, somebody posted that video of that man dipping corn dogs
into his ketchup belly button.
And that, like, somehow...
There was a lot happening in that video.
There was so much happening in that video.
There was a lot of outfit choices or lack thereof.
Oof. There was a lot of life choices in that video. A lot of
face tattoos, which is a bold choice.
Very bold choice. The placement of those corn dogs.
Yeah.
Bold choice.
I mean, that's a lot of corn dogs to eat by yourself. And I'm saying by yourself because no one wants your penis corn dogs. Okay?
No one wants your penis dogs.
Yeah. Just throwing it out there. If you're not in the cult and you're listening to this, this is the content that you're missing. So anyway, Jess, I don't believe you fully answered the question.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't squeak out of it, I guess.
Yeah, sorry. No.
Dang it. I guess that I would go with... This is a really niche answer.
Yes.
But I'm guessing that somehow this is going to just magically happen because otherwise, how else would you dispense anything out of your belly button?
If you're trying to put realism into this question, it does not belong here. So,
so there was this coffee shop. It's like a little sandwich coffee shop in Cody, Wyoming. That's where I was like from 8th grade all the way to the 2 years of college. I grew up in Cody, Wyoming. Mm-hmm. There's a little coffee shop called the Cody Coffee Company, and they had these paninis. And like, paninis are like a thing that you can get at other places, but they had this sauce on the chicken panini or whatever, and it was like this sun-dried tomato magic.
Oh,
and
sounds great.
Have never ever had it since the owners sold that place and left.
Would you say that it's like an aioli where it has like mayonnaise, oil?
I would say that that's a safe bet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so I've tried
like a sun-dried tomato aioli.
Yes, but I've tried to recreate it myself using sun-dried tomatoes and mayonnaise. I don't think I put oil in it, so maybe that's what I
dried.
Oil packed.
Okay, that's the good choice.
Yeah,
that's what I would recommend.
Yeah. And I've never been able to recreate it, and it was to this day, my sister and I still talk about it because it was that good. So somehow, through the magic of dispensing condiments out of my belly button,
you will come up with this sauce that you have not had in a long time and doesn't really exist anymore because that place closed.
Exactly.
Well, great. That's the ideal. That's the ideal choice. Perfect.
So there's that.
I love it. It's the right choice. It was the right choice for you, I think.
Thank you.
Okay, Jess.
Yes.
I think we've reached the end of this.
Oh, it was so much fun.
It was fun. I loved it. We went a lot of places today.
So many places. I feel like we were in the Magic School Bus.
We talked about problematic Native American characters in Laura Ingalls. We covered all the topics. Okay, Jess. I love you.
I love you.
Keep being a badass. And love yourself as much as you love heaving bosoms.
Always, which is so much.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list, though, so it might be a while. Lilas! Okay, back to the show.